Hello guys. Today we have Devansh Sharma, the founder of Webitop and the IT head of Time of Sports. Devansh, welcome to the Unravelling the Mind podcast with Swapnil.
नमस्कार सत श्रीकाल आदाब Yeah. Hi Swapnil.
Devansh, my question is, what is entrepreneurship according to you?
See, at the core of every entrepreneur's mind and at the core of entrepreneurship, people think is a lot of money, is a passion to earn money, is a passion to run after money, is to find how to earn money and profits through each and every way possible. But no, at the core center of entrepreneurship lies a will to provide a solution to a problem. It can be an invention, it can be method, it can be a product in itself, right? So at the core of entrepreneurship lies the will to solve a problem. The second thing, the second objective of an entrepreneur always is to, help the society in some way. So solving a problem, helping the society, and at the same time making money with it, right? That is what comprises of an entrepreneurship. So for me,
Great.
that is the crux. The crux is solving problems at the same time, earning money from it, making some or the other, difference in the society.
Great. That's great. Impressive. Okay, let's talk about your journey. Like how this idea came into your mind, like how to build Webitop, and tell me more about Time of Sports as well.
Yeah. So I'll tell you another thing, another business of mine which you do not know about, which most of the people do not know about. So I started my journey like everyone. I started my journey from my school, uh, but very less number of people know that my school was the last point of formal education that I had, right? So I studied from Don Bosco School in GK2 Alaknanda in New Delhi, and that is where I learned each and everything from. I mean, I did not need to go to any college, I did not need to do any courses, but I got all my values and everything from there. So in class 11th, I took science. I flunked. Okay, I was a good student before that, but I flunked. And, many people, even my teachers, said that, I should switch to commerce. I would do wonders there. And you wouldn't believe me, I used to get single digits in physics, chemistry, maths, single digits. In maths, I got like 20, but in physics, chemistry, I got single digits in proper final exams. So even in 12th boards, I got like my physics and chemistry marks got a bit single digited. So I had to, I did complete my 12th later on after receiving like three compartments, and then again I kept going for it. But at the same time, I switched to something else. I switched to experiential learning unknowingly. I did not know what experiential learning is. I just had this in my mind. I used to read a lot of books. जैसे हम लोग बचपन में पढ़ते थे ना, सो टिंकल एंड ऑल. सो टिंकल, मैजिक पॉट, ये बचपन से चालू होते होते कॉमिक्स के साथ चालू होते होते अगाथा क्रिस्टी, डैन ब्राउन, right? Famous Five, Enid Blyton, Secret Seven. So all of these books I kept on reading. A lot of fiction, but towards my 12th class, I started moving towards non-fiction. That's where I started. That was because of I thought that these books can fix me, fix the problems that I have maybe. So it started with, I remember we used to have chicken soup for the soul in our school's library, and it was really vast category that opened to me, right? Like there was chicken soup for friend's soul, chicken soup for a lover's soul, chicken soup. I don't know why we also had chicken soup for a pregnant mother's soul in our school library. I mean, it was a boys' school, so I don't know where it came from. So, but yeah, so it opened a world of self help to me. So I used to read a lot of books. I read Robin Sharma self help books. I read so all these mainstream books. I started with all these mainstream books, Alchemist, and you know. What do you call this? Stephen Covey's book on management, Dale Carnegie's book on how to influence people and make friends, right? So all of these books, they opened a brand new, what do you say, dimension for me, wherein I imagined like these authors, they're doing wonders in their life. And if they are taking out some time and putting their knowledge into a book, that book has not been written in a day, that book has been written throughout a month or a year or years. In fact, it is the work of that genius person, that successful person, who has comprised all his knowledge and experience into that book in those 300 pages or 200 pages. So I thought this is wonderful. Like, you can get all that knowledge and experience of one successful life just by reading these 200, 300 pages. And because of that, so what happened was, after 12th I kept on searching for things where I can make a difference, because I was going through a lot of depression and all, right? My father passed away, had some initial breakups, first time breakups, and all. So all of that did a lot of put a lot of impact on my subconscious mind and all, and I got into an episode of depression for around 2 years. But books was how I got out of it. All of that time, I kept on reading. I kept on reading, and one fine day, I was like, I'm going to change my life and let's make a difference. So at the time when I was giving my 12th class compartments, not even preparing for them, just between that time, I searched for things where I can make a difference. So I joined an NGO sort of program by Times of India. It was called Teach India. So I joined that program. I had to teach as a volunteer English, spoken English. So being in Don Bosco school, that was one thing that I knew that I could do, right? So from a convent school, I'm from New Delhi, so like English wasn't a problem. So I thought that let's do this. Let's teach people spoken English, and it was for the age group of 18 to 32. Those were the students from the underprivileged sector. So we had to train them for 3 months and then they get jobs, right? So I went into that, got training from British Council and Times of India. They liked my work, and I was also taken up in their team, the CSR team. Um, so as their staff member, not a volunteer anymore, right? And I started training other people, other volunteers. So there were a lot of good-hearted people, good souls who wanted genuinely to help people. So there were engineers, there were retired army generals, there were corporates, big corporates, right? Doctors, police officers, even college students who wanted to help. So all of these were volunteers. I started training them and all. And along with this, I met a few influential people, right, who also wanted to help me, and they were like really impressed, because at that time I wasn't I was like 18 or 19, right? And they were amazed that I'm doing all of this, and obviously I'll be doing all of this because I wasn't going to college, right? They also they threw a few opportunities at me, which I never said a no to. So one fine day, somebody called me, and he was a great mentor of mine. He said that, Devansh, there is this class happening. a concept of a class is running in the minds of people who run the Delhi Gymkhana Club for elders. You have to teach them computers so that they can do their basic life stuff on the computer, right? They can use them to their benefit. So I was like, I remember that I was taking a bath at that time, and I used to have a Bluetooth speaker, which I used to have music running on while taking a shower. And on that speaker, I did that call just for like 10 seconds, and I was like, "Ha ha, yes, मैं कर लूँगा." Okay, I did not know what I will do, how I will do it.
So basically, it was a sudden decision, right?
It was a very sudden decision. It was, see, the only habit I had was, which I think helped me in the long run, was I never said no to anything. Whoever said कि ये करना है, I said हाँ हो जाएगा. And then later on, maybe I learned it. So what happened was, after that I learned that what all could I teach to the elders. I researched about it, and मेरी 4 दिन में meeting थी. I had a meeting 4 days after that, and before that I had a 250-page book ready with the course that I will give this printout, 250 pages, to each and every student of mine there, and I'll teach them in certain number of sessions what all topics are there. So how to order medicines online. Some people wanted to learn how to play card games and etc. online. How to stay in touch with their kids who are living abroad. How to send them pictures. How to watch the videos, send emails. So all of that stuff I taught them, right? So that they can be self-sufficient. So from there, I also met somebody who introduced me to someone else, and they said that, "Can you manage social media and all?" So I was like, "Yes, I can do that." Right? So they pushed me to a politician. They referred me to a politician, and a very influential politician, and that politician said, "I'm starting a new organization, and why don't you help me in the digital promotion of it?" So I got into it. I did some work with him, but you know how politicians are. So the mindset with my kind of design and my kind of marketing, which I do, did not match with their psyche. But what happened at that time was, because of that work, because of all this work linking, one work links to the other work, one project links to the other, right? How I kept got references from one place to the other. Because of that, I also landed another doctor's clinic and all for digital marketing. So what happened was, at that time I thought that, see, whatever I have become, so उस टाइम में आया दिमाग में कि देखो मैंने कुछ भी नहीं पढ़ा, but I am earning quite well. That is because of what? That was all because of the books that I was reading. So I thought, why not tell people about it? So I had this business called the Bookmanship, wherein I had this objective of spreading the culture of books. So it was called the Bookmanship Sailing Through Wisdom. Okay, so I used to sell books there, but I also used to conduct a lot of live sessions, discussions on books, and why books are better than other forms of learnings, which is very debatable, of course. Um, and so basically, it was all about spreading the culture of books and the culture of self improvement, this culture of autodidacticism, that is self learning, which is the most important. So what happened was, slowly and gradually, I saw myself making that startup, and because I was alone, I did not have enough savings and all to invest in a full-fledged business. I learned how to make. Now, see, this is the difference. I'll tell you. When we learn something formally and we don't have any place to apply, for example, I learned French for 4 years in school. 4 years, right? And now all I remember is Como tu t'appelles, je m'appelle Devansh, et tu, right? Je parle français. That's it. I don't know French beyond this. Why? Because I've never put it to use. Have you ever learned any language?
Currently, I'm learning French,
Why?
but yeah, I I don't know. Like I love watching. Like to be honest, the reason why I'm learning French because one day I was watching a series and I love that series now also. Like, it's one of my favorite as well. And
Hmm.
so yeah, from that day I decided to learn French. So yeah, it's an amazing language.
So
So
you
this is my
want to
main
learn
focus.
French in order to be able to watch movies, French movies.
Watch movies and I want to like communicate and network with the French people as well because like some of my friends they're very good at French and all and they belong from that country as well. So that's the main two reasons why I'm learning French.
Right. So that is the difference. See, so I learned French for 4 years. Why? Just because, right? Just because it sounded cool in school, right? I'm learning French. I'm not learning Sanskrit like you, right? So it just sounded cool to my teenage mind, and I said, okay, why not? And I don't remember any of it now because I did not apply it. I did not use it. So but now, what happened is, when I was starting this business, the bookmanship, I learned how to make a website because I wanted to. I already had an objective in mind. So, if I have an objective in mind and then I learn for that and I use it, that is experiential learning. That is on the job training. That is experiential learning. That is hands-on experience. So I learned how to make a website. Then a website was not enough. I had to learn how to integrate different applications into one so that I can list my books there. I learned how to, now I also had to promote on social media, right? So I learned social media marketing. I did certifications from Google. I then who will create my social media posts, who will design them. So I learned a bit about designing. I learned some online easy applications where I can create my videos. I can create and edit my graphical posts. So a little bit of content writing, SEO. So that's where I gathered a lot of knowledge of digital marketing and digital media. I started doing it for other people post that. And I don't know why I never ran my business properly, the bookmanship, and I started taking up clients. And soon after, because of this, I got contacted by a cousin of mine who was, who knew this company, Time of Sports, had started, and they're looking to expand a lot. So in IT as a product, so they hired me. Right, it was a startup. They needed somebody who has the experience in everything. They did not, wanted to know about the formal education and degrees and certificates. So yeah, I also agree. And the when I joined Time of Sports, my whole life took another leap, and I went on to being like, now what it has been around 5 6 years that I am in Time of Sports. We have launched our own STEM education wing, which is STEM Club Global. We also run the world's largest STEM challenge by Formula One, and we run it exclusively in India. We have the license for Formula One in schools in India, and we are teaching age group of 9 to 19 school students how to design their own cars on Autodesk Fusion 360, right? A CAD software. We are teaching them how to make an aerodynamic car. We are teaching them about CNC machines, manufacturing. We are teaching them about marketing. We are teaching them how to create their own team logos, how to manage their own team. They have roles like graphic designers. They have roles like sponsorship manager. So they make their own teams. They make their own uniforms. They design them. They function like an F1 schools, like Formula One team, like an actual Formula One team. They go and have marketing meetings with brands like Rolls Royce, Ferrari, and even FMCG brands like Haldirams and all, right? And they get sponsorships. People like right from Karan Chandok to Vish to Amir Khan. Paresh Rawal, right? All of these famous people are wishing them, making videos. John Abraham, all of these people are making videos and sending them as good luck wishes for their competition. We run the world's largest STEM challenge. So these teams, they are not only doing science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, but also learning entrepreneurship and marketing. How big a thing is that? Something which I had to learn after school, which was supposed to be my college time, something that I learned then. All of them are learning hands on, experiential learning by participating in this competition in the school itself. So, when you ask me why do I call myself an entrepreneur, that is why. So, because this is the need of the hour, I I tried myself. I myself tried learning through traditional methods, but sometimes it is not for everyone. But one thing is for sure, that is 100% true for everyone. It is, if you don't use, or if you don't practically do something, you will never learn it properly. So experiential learning is what I always promote, what I believe in, and that is my mantra. Like, if you want to learn something, do it. Just do it.
Okay, so were you like always fascinated with like mentoring and like teaching people, like from the very beginning?
Yeah. So that is also a value that was inculcated in me by my school. So when we were in class 10th and 11th, we used to have an Ankur school in the evening. So what happened was, all the underprivileged people from around the school, their children used to come at the school, and we used to conduct classes for them. And this we had some teachers also allotted for the same thing, but this duty was given to class 10th and 11th students, so that we also have a sense of responsibility towards the society. We learn how to manage a class, we learn how to manage people and help people at the same time. So this was an activity that was given to us, a responsibility. So, like, for example, for 3 days I have to come at 3, or maybe stay back in the school after my school hours, and I have to teach these students. So this was something that was going on from the very beginning, and it's a very tragic state in our country that teachers are not paid well, because of which this type of learning is missing. That is where we come in. That is where we come in as STEM Club Global. And we started with Formula One in schools, and now we also teach students about AI. We are teaching sixth class students, seventh class students about AI. We are teaching them concepts of AI. We are practically making them do it. So I one of our schools who is on board with us, DPS, Delhi Public School, their students, okay, 6th 7th class students, they made an application, right, where the students will simply come in front of the camera, and according to the color of the shirts they are wearing, it will count and tell that how many students are from yellow house, how many are from blue house, how many are from green house, according to their um, so the AI detects the color of their t-shirt with the help of the camera, and then processes it through their application and gives a count. Very simple thing. But this, just by doing this, the student now knows the concepts of AI, right? They know logics, they know detection, they know input output. So we are teaching them AI. We have advanced courses for AI as well. We are teaching them game coding, how to build their own games. We are teaching them. We are teaching the primary school kids Formula One in schools primary, air pressure. The car runs with air pressure. They make their own cars, right? Primary schools, fourth and fifth and third class. We are also teaching entrepreneurship. So I've recently started this club. It's called Startup Young. So I use all my knowledge that I've gathered throughout these years and we are running Startup Young Entrepreneurship Club as well. We teach entrepreneurship to classes 9th, 10th, 11th. We teach them project management as a skill, right? We make them do these projects, build their startups in teams. So a lot of experiential learning is happening all across. We are in around what will you say? The number is around 220. We are in
Great.
220 schools across India, not only in Delhi, Mumbai, Pune, Bangalore, even in Jammu. We are there. It's the fifth season that we have just wrapped up of the national finals of Formula One in schools, and uh, we have a team from we have a team of kids who are going to the world finals now. We have three teams who are going to the world finals, just like before. So we had participated in the world finals. India has participated around four times, and so just the fourth time we got the knockout champion award in the world finals,
Amazing.
right? And that was done by a team which was working in harsh conditions, a team of students which was working in harsh conditions with uncertainty of internet availability. Can you guess which state they were from? They
No.
were from Jammu. This team became India national. They became the top. They came in the top three winners of India in Formula One in schools, and then they went to the world finals and won the knockout championship. It's a very big deal. So things are moving, and we are trying to inculcate this experiential learning and make spread a lot of awareness about it. Thanks to science and institutions abroad and in India, which are helping us to spread this awareness. And it's our mission to have experiential learning clubs in every school. In every school, there is no doubt about it. It is a necessity. Is It's no more an extracurricular.
Great. So, could you please elaborate or like explain more about STEM? Like, what is STEM? What are its benefits and all for the people who don't know about it?
Yeah, so STEM is in our everyday life. STEM is science, technology, engineering, mathematics for people who don't know the full form. So STEM can be anything, right from a third class student's EVS environmental science notebook to college going students biomolecular studies book, right? Everything, all these topics are STEM, mathematics, engineering. So if you look around you, everything is working on STEM, right? This computer, this laptop, this phone, the charger, the lights, fans, everything is running on STEM. And some or the other place, you always need to have this knowledge of STEM. No, I'm not talking about knowing the formula of how to calculate the viscosity of a liquid, or knowing what is Bernoulli's theorem. But I'm talking about simple things like, why does oil float on water, right? Why will I get a shock if I don't wear rubber slippers while touching my tip of the charger at times, right? Simple things that help us in our daily life. So, with STEM learning, STEM learning is of all sorts. I can take you to a postgraduate degree of science, any topic of science, and I can say that this is STEM. Yes, that is STEM. But the kind of STEM that we are looking at is right from um, your childhood. We are developing the mind in order to understand, make a way for adaptability of STEM. We are helping the students to develop what do you call an aptitude towards STEM. So STEM, we are only making them more logical, more reasonable, more analytical. So even if you go on and become a lawyer, you have an analytical mind. You have a mind who can do reasoning, right? Because you have gone through STEM learning. You know how to find out solutions. So just like an entrepreneur, in STEM also you need to find solutions to problems and work your way out. And it's science. It's everywhere.
Great. So the next question is, okay, talking about entrepreneurship, what's the right age or what's the right time a person should be an entrepreneur? So is there any like correct age or is like where a person should start your own startup or think about that thing?
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you. So when I was young, I used to watch these cartoons, and in many of those cartoons, I used to see that there was a culture in the US that school students, they are putting up a lemonade stall somewhere and asking for like 20 cents for a glass or $1 for a glass. So I used to see these cartoons, and I used to wonder that यार इनके पेरेंट्स कुछ बोल नहीं रहे क्या इनको कि क्या बाहर नींबू पानी बेचोगे, पढ़ाई कर लो जाके. But that wasn't the culture there. Students, right after their age of 17 or 18, they leave their houses. No matter how well off their parents are, they go out, they go to the university to study, and they do part time jobs like delivering pizza and all, waiting in restaurants. So, all of this is looked down upon in our culture, in our country. कि ये बहुत छोटा काम है. तुम पढ़ते रहो बेशक 26 27 28 29 30 के हो जाओ, घर पे पड़े रहो, कुछ मत कमाओ, बस पढ़ते रहो कि हम बाद में कुछ बन जाओगे. I don't get this mentality. But nowadays, if you look at it, I just met a friend of mine, and we went to Comic Con with his younger brother. And his younger brother told me he looked at a stall where they were selling superhero merchandise, and he said कि भैया ये पोस्टर के इतने पैसे ले रहे हैं. मैं तो क्या करता हूँ, अपने घर के कलर प्रिंटर से फुल A4 साइज के बढ़िया से पेज पे बॉन्ड पेपर पे प्रिंट करता हूँ और अपने स्कूल में जाके ना 300 में भेज देता हूँ. So he finds good pictures and
Like
prints,
Super HD, like full
हाँ,
HD
super
pictures
HD
and
pictures, and he prints them and simply goes to his on a good quality paper, and he goes to his school and sells. Right? Simple. There is no age to learn entrepreneurship. You can do it right when your child starts speaking and listening to you. Maybe listening to you वो नहीं करेगा but right when they start speaking.
by seeing and observing the things and all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You start giving them deals right after they're born, right? अब बोलो कि आप ये करोगे तो आपको इतना मिलेगा, ये करोगे तो इतना मिलेगा. That is business. You're making a deal with them and you're teaching them how to work for that benefit. And they work around. You'll see that children will play tricks in order to get more of it then. That is entrepreneurship. They'll find a solution to it. So, if you start teaching your kid how to find solutions to problems in the early age, you start teaching them about concepts of profit, about concepts of giving and taking, barter systems. So all of this can be taught in very, very simple, with very, very simple activities and very, very simple words. To us, the concept, all of this, sounds like jargon. How will a third class student or how will a first class student learn this? But when you get into actually applying those concepts, it's very easy. And that's what the children are about, right? They keep moving around, kinesthetic. They have so much of energy. कर करके ही सीखेंगे और वो करके सीख जाएंगे. हम पढ़ के नहीं सीख पाएंगे, वो करके सीख जाएंगे. So you can start at any age. There's no limit to the age where आप entrepreneurship सीख सकते
Got it. Great, impressive. So my next question is, like you are doing great. You are doing great. You have a good startup and all, and the company is doing great. So, like, where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
Yeah, so most of those plans are secret, but I'll let you in into one of those crazy ideas. I always wanted to become a good speaker, and I soon plan to become a motivational speaker sort.
So,
And
basically, you want to be a public speaker.
yeah, I want to be a public speaker, and gradually I want to write my own book, have a
Great.
have a little course around it, maybe life coaching, get into life coaching. So a lot of things are running, they keep on running in my mind. But yeah, for right now, if you ask me, my goal is to take experiential learning through STEM Club Global into each and every school of this country. And not only this country, uh, we are going global soon. So yeah,
Planning to expand.
sky is limit. Yeah, sky is the limit.
Great. Great. I love this idea. So if not Webitop, which company's founder you'd like to be today?
Which company?
Yeah.
Uh, ca- can I say which founder's place I would like to take?
Yeah. Yeah.
I would like to take Elon Musk's place.
Okay. So basically, you
He
want to
has
be
so
the
much of access
founder
and
of
so much
business.
of resources. Like I cannot even think of the things I could do with those resources and those companies and those inventions and those the kind of knowledge and technology he has access to.
Great. So like we all have like inspirations, we all have like idols and all. So who are the people who have motivated you a lot?
Okay, okay. At that, so since that old time, I'll tell you. So, Richard Branson,
Okay.
Bill Gates, Steve Jobs are in every list. Okay, and I used to watch Shark Tank a lot.
Hmm.
I used to watch Shark Tank a lot. So, uh, but none of those sharks particularly got my attention, but overall the Shark Tank concept and everything from there I was inspired a lot. And I would say Mukesh Ambani, you can say, going into different sectors and expanding, and of course Ratan Tata. And also motivational speakers and all, like Tony Robbins and Gary Vee. Like, it's good. And basically what happens is I don't have a single mentor. I cannot think of a single person whom I would say that I learned from all my things, because at the end of the day, we are all human beings. We all have our negatives and positives. So I don't become a fan of anyone, any particular being, but the only thing I become a fan of are ideas and concepts. So I do admire a lot of ideas of these people which I just named, and I do not remember the name of. There's a lady, I guess, Miss Sananda, or she's an activist. She's a sustainability activist who in India, and she's also a professor of the same thing. She's a veteran lady, and she talks a lot about how we as communities are going out, wasting a lot of resources, and living in different countries, becoming capitalists and all. So they talk about sustainable small groups of societies and communities that we should live like. So that those things are very I get inspired by them a lot, and I try to reduce my carbon footprint as well. So not only going into the direction of business, science, technology, but also sustainability is something that I get a lot of I get intrigued by it, and I want to bring it into my life somehow. I don't know how to get it because carbon footprint is one thing that we don't know how to control. We as a society do not know how to control. So personally, I would like to learn that.
So, like, do you like watching content, like the content on YouTube or Instagram Reels?
Yeah, see, it gets very hazy at times that, you start watching one content and you lead on to the other unuseful content. So that's where I think we should um, draw a line at. We should organize our learning on YouTube or Instagram or whatever. We should keep a time. We should keep dedicated a few channels or few topics that we need to uh, just learn about or find out about, research. Because the moment you click on that one funny video or that one entertainment video which comes in the suggestions, your time is right, it goes down the drain, and
Right.
you never know how when the clock strikes 1 or 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. So follow a lot of productivity channels, and I watch a lot of interviews. I try to learn from people who are already successful and already there where I want to be.
So,
So
so
that's what I
talking
watch.
about content, who are your favorite or like top most favorite content creators that uh, add values in your life?
Oh, there is Swapnil Das, right? So yeah, so content creators who. So there are many. So sometimes I
Let me phrase
watch.
this like let me frame the question like this. Like after
Yeah.
watching that content, you are like, okay, इस content creator में कुछ तो बात है, and this content creator is some like making content something out of the box, and
So
it genuinely adding values in people life. So yeah.
so even though I've flunked in physics a lot in class 11th and 12th, it was my favorite subject, and I used to watch a lot of videos of Professor Walton Lewin from MIT. He's a person who explains physics in experiential manner. Even if he's explaining you about oscillation in pendulum, he'll bring something to oscillate from the roof. He sometimes hung onto it and oscillated his own body with that pendulum. So he's oscillating in the classroom like a pendulum, swinging from left to right, swinging from left to right. So I really used to like his videos, and then there are these knowledge pills, self improvement named YouTube channels. There are channels which concise the current affair topics into one topic, which explains you everything without your political or biased comments. They just give you the information. What is this all about, right? Um, Also, I do a lot of so Ali Abdal and Thomas Frank were the ones which I used to watch a lot during my student days. So to learn various self improvement topics like time management, what all apps to use, how to organize my tasks, how to complete my work, how to keep a track of my time, of my day, of my yearly goals, how to read books for that matter, how to read a lot of books, more and more books, how to summarize them, how to remember them, how to apply them, how to record them, how to take notes. So a vast number of topics. So that's what I watch on YouTube. So what I read in books, I also watch on YouTube.
Hmm. Great. Ali Abdul is also one of my favorite. He's one of the best
Oh,
content
he's a
creator
great guy.
ever came across. Yeah, he's an OG. I would say that. So yeah,
For starters, even Ankur Variku is good, and
Ankur Varghese is also amazing. Okay.
Ankur Variku is from
Uh,
the same school that I am from.
okay.
We are from the same school. Ankur Variku, Piyush Bansal, the founder of Lenskart,
Okay.
he's also from the same school.
Okay. Great. Okay. Let's talk about books now. So, as you know, we read a lot. Like we consume a lot. We consume lot of knowledge from books only. And so, talking about books, so what are your like top 10 favorite books and you'd like to recommend to the people?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Okay. Nice question. Uh, see, the number one book is undisputedly something that is not non-fiction and not fiction entirely. So it is a book by Khalil Gibran, right? Where Khalil Gibran was a good philosopher, writer. So he wrote a book called The Prophet, wherein they he talks about through a story, through a prophet in the story, he talks about and touches on the topics of everything related to our life, uh, love, children, food, crime, punishment, jobs, career, traveling. So, in that book, it gives a great way of living and through prose poetry. That is my favorite book, The Prophet. And whoever I get close with, like whoever is in my inner circle or my close friends, I gift them this book always.
I still remember, like, you gifted me that book, and after reading that book, I completely fell in love with that book. I love that book now also. It's an amazing book, and I would highly recommend everyone to read that book. So, yeah.
Same, 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 same. Oh yeah. So next would be Alchemist. Alchemist. Here it gives you. It's a magical book. Alchemist. Um, it compels you to think about your dreams, about what you want to do in life. It's just such a beautiful book. Then I would say The Secret. The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. Is it
Brian. Yeah, yeah,
Rhonda?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So The Secret is something that, see, it's a book wherein the same idea has been repeatedly written a lot of pages, but let's face it, like we only retain 60% of what we read, or 40%, 50%. So if an author is repeating the concept again and again, maybe it is to inculcate it strongly and have an imprint and inscribe it in our minds. So yeah, that works. That was a great book, The Secret. It helped me stay positive and it made me very, very positive in life.
And the power of manifestation actually works. Okay, like it happened with me many times. Like whatever I've manifested,
Yeah.
I like achieve those things. So yeah.
So how I believe that works is by playing games with your own mind. So by using law of attraction, we are compelling our mind to program itself in such a manner that we do each and everything in order to make that thought into reality. So I believe that it's all psychology. That's how I look at law of attraction. But yeah, nevertheless, whatever you think, it should help you, right? Mm, Next book would be Atomic Habits.
Hands up. Yeah, I love that book. It's one of the
Atomic
most
Habits is
powerful book
actually,
I've ever read.
it's a
Yeah.
very powerful book. It's a book that does not give you a lot of research. I mean, it gives you the proofs of the research, but it gives you a lot more practical advice. It tells you how to program yourself and your habits, how to lose the bad habits, how to get the good habits, program yourself. It kind of gives you a pathway or like a workbook sort of a thing, and yeah, it's great. And if you talk about health wise, I used to read a lot of stuff out of that. The book by there's this dietitian nutritionist, she was also Karina Kapoor's nutritionist, is. So she wrote a book called Don't Lose Hope, Lose Weight, Rujuta Dwekar. Even her book is good. Like I was a beginner in reading nutrition based or fitness based books. So that really gives you a practical view into the Indian lifestyle and the Indian cuisine and Indian nutrition. and how our bodies are made, and what should we eat, what we shouldn't, and what are some common diet fads and myths. So that book is also quite insightful. Also, there is this book, The Obesity Code: Unlocking the Secrets of Weight Loss, by Jason Fung, Dr. Jason Fung. So this is also, I keep on reading a lot of stuff on it. So the Obesity Code gives an insight into how your body works with insulin, how carbohydrates, fat work, and how actually the weight gain happens and how can you lose it. So it's a good scientific book about obesity. And next, I would say is Rich Dad Poor Dad could also come in the same list, right?
Great.
I
Yeah,
I,
yeah, for sure.
I think so. Rich Dad Poor Dad is there. Then there is the 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. So that also inspired me a lot during my early days, wherein I had to get up early, and reading that book just made my mind very, very clear. Like, I need to do this, and I will do this. These are the practical steps and tips which I can use in order to wake up early. So it was like something to be proud about. Like, you're waking up at 5, you're now in the 5 a.m. club. Just, I mean, the book was good. Even it had some repeated ideas, but then the book did its work. Then there is 19, I guess, a book by George Orwell, Animal Farm, I guess. Animal Farm by George Orwell. It's a political satire. They talk about politics and politicians by looking into the life of animals in a farm, wherein pigs are the politicians. So that is a great read. And there is 5 people you meet in heaven,
Mitch Albom.
Mitch Album. It teaches
He is
you
my
how
all-time favorite author. Yeah, yeah, that's right.
because of Tuesdays with Maurice, I believe, right? Most of the
Yeah,
people know
yeah,
him
yeah.
because of Tuesdays with
No,
Maurice.
no. First I've read that book only, that you have mentioned. Five
Oh,
people you met in heaven. Oh, after that I read Tuesdays with Mori.
okay. So that is a very good book. It gives you an idea that even though we all of us are sitting in different parts of the world, we don't know each other, we don't care about each other, we don't give a fuck who's there in America sitting on their computer, maybe in the stadiums. But in a way, all of us are connected. So the very small decision of me having this podcast with Swapnil can maybe cause a death in in Las Vegas. So each and every decision that we do, each and every particle that moves in a test tube, right? It can cause some or the other reaction. So similarly, we also, as a whole, we have a chain reaction, right, to every decision that we make, every movement we make. So that is also a very intriguing book. And then there is Richard Branson's autobiography, Screw It, Let's Do It: Lessons in Life. So he's the founder of this Virgin Group.
Shut up.
It's it's the Virgin Atlantic Group, Virgin Records, music, and all right. Also, there's a very different kind of a book I would like to mention. It's The Fault in Our Stars. Uh, yeah, I like that book very much. I can keep it in my top tens, maybe. It's a
Great,
very
great,
young adult sort of a
great.
book, but yeah, I have a whole list of books I can mention. How to read books, for example, is a book by James Mortimer. How
Yeah,
to
that's
read
a
books.
rare book. That's a rare book. Like
Yeah, that's a
you
rare book. I
ha
have that book. I read that book. It's good. Reading in the Brain. Yeah, it was Animal Fire, or There is a book about linguistics as well. I don't know how many people would find it useful. Rumi, Essentials, Rumi. Essential Rumi is a book which I like to turn to from, and the top out of them, out of all these books, I would say Bhagavad Gita. So I have read Bhagavad Gita in English and Hindi both, and I have it in both the languages, and I
So,
recommend.
are you a fast reader or a slow reader?
I'm an irregular reader at times.
Okay.
So I remember I finished Dan Brown's Da Vinci Code in one day, and I
Okay.
finished. Sometimes I take the same a smaller book time. If I pick up a smaller book than that, it takes me maybe 5 weeks or 6 weeks. I go back to the first chapter and start the book over again. So it depends on the book, really. So it doesn't matter how fast or slow I am. It depends on the book, whether the author is able to, keep my interest in
Great.
his or her book. So even Ashwin Sanghi is a very good writer. If you want, I would name Ashwin Sanghi as, I can say, he's the Dan Brown of India. So he
Oh,
also mixes mythology and history and science, and makes a thriller out of it. So just like Dan Brown. So you can also give a chance to Ashwin Sanghi. His books like the Krishna Ki, the Rosabelle Line, amazing books. Amazing books.
great, great.
Yes, I
So,
believe
so,
that's this question's
so,
answer is
so I'm gonna wrap up this podcast with some rapid fire questions. So yeah. So your first question is, speed or perfection? What would you choose?
perfection.
Okay, is there any reason behind it?
I'm a perfectionist. I'm very slow in order in delivering results. So that is only because I'm a perfectionist.
Okay. Beaches or mountains?
Beaches.
Beach. Okay, so you don't like mountains, right? Or like you don't like.
Yeah, I have a fear of heights that I'll fall from the mountains and die.
Okay. Hmm. Money over love, or love over money.
Love money.
Okay. Hmm. Great. Money or power?
Power. If I have the power, I can earn any amount of money.
Hmm. Okay. So the last question is, what is freedom according to you?
Freedom is being able to do anything without the fear of society, and without the fear of anybody else judging or mm, judging you or making a decision for you. So you can do anything, go anywhere, read anything, sleep at any time you want, work at any time you want, stop working and go for a movie at any time you want. That is freedom. Very
Great.
literal, very literal.
Great. Great. So yeah, Devansh, it was an absolute pleasure talking with you. Thank you for being in my show, and thank you for sharing your plethora of knowledge with the people. And yeah, it was an amazing podcast.
Yes, love to be in your show.